You went into the kitchen cupboard, got yourself another hour, and gave half of it to me. We sat there looking at the faces of the strangers in the pages, so we knew mathematically they were in our minds until forever. But we didn't know, we didn't know better.
Well, yesterday when I talked to you, I went ahead and made the tape. I wasn't feeling very good, and but I went ahead and made it anyhow. Uh, Today I feel a little bit better, and so I was 17. The judge had released me off home arrest to go into the service. So me and my very, very, very best friend, we were so tight. We were going into the service, and we were going to see the world. We were going to fly to San Diego. We were going to be sailors, and that's what we did. We flew into San Diego about midnight, something like that. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, a big old gray bus come, and everybody filed on there because there was a lot of people that flew in from all over the country. And pretty soon we pulled into the gates of San Diego boot camp, and it took me about 3 seconds to figure out that this was not for me, because they started yelling immediately. As soon as you stepped off that bus, you were no longer you. You don't have a name. You have a number. Me, I'm 5'8'9", 5'7", 8'1". That was 1961, and that number still stays with me. And boot camp was, for a kid like me, undisciplined, a natural screw up. Uh, it was a joke. It really was a joke. It was a miracle that I survived. But my first reaction was, I'm getting out of here. This is not for me. And so the first week you were allowed to see a psychiatrist, and I had it all planned out, man. I knew I was going to go in there and convince this guy that I couldn't handle it. And I walked in and I said, man, I can't handle this. My nerves, I might go off. I'm thinking about killing myself, maybe killing other people, and everything's just falling in on me, and I probably can't handle another day. It could happen any second now. And he just calmly looked at me and said, hey, son, everybody feels that way. You'll be okay. Send in the next guy. And so I fell flat on my face. I wasn't convincing him nothing. He'd heard everything. And my friend, he went in, and he had always had this twitch in his eye. No big deal. Just a twitch. 5 minutes later, he'd come out. He had a big smile on his face. They discharged him because of this twitch. 2 days later, he was gone, on his way back home. And I was by myself. And I was homesick. I was scared. I was yelled at constantly. Of course, everybody got yelled at. But I seemed to get more than my share. And I'll give you a quick example of how my time in boot camp went. They used to have a thing on Saturdays called the marching party. It was for people who had screwed up during the week, and you had to really screw up to make it to the Saturday marching party. I don't think a Saturday went by all the time I was in the Navy that I didn't make that marching party. And It always started out the same. It was like a football field, really. It had a big old track, and the drill sergeant stood up on a podium, and you would run around 3 times with the rifle over your head, and never failed, 3 times. And one day I thought, on the second time around, I'm clear down at the other end of the podium and behind the bleachers, and saw these high weeds, and I dropped down. Something come over me and said, drop down, wait until they come around the 3rd time, get up, and be the first one in line for the drill sergeant to see. So I dropped down, and my heart was beating so fast because I thought, man, if this doesn't work out, I am in so much trouble. And I'll never forget hearing his voice when the rest of the recruits got up to him, got ready to make the 3rd round. He pulled them up, told them to line up, and I'm laying back there in the weeds. Nobody's on the track. He's talking to them. He doesn't know, anything about me. And so I can't lay there for 9 weeks. So I get up and I start running with the rifle over my head. And as long as I live, I'll never forget what he said or the tone in his voice when he said it. Because he's busy chewing these recruits out. And all of a sudden he says, well now, what have we got coming here? And everybody turned around, and what he had was 5.89, 5.781, 5 minutes behind everybody. He got me up on that podium, and I mean, he totally humiliated me. He worked me so hard with calisthenics, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. But that gives you a reflection kind of my whole time in boot camp. But I made it. I graduated. The happiest day of my life when they handed out the orders. People were going to Guam. They were going to Virginia. They handed mine. I opened it up, and it said, Barbers Point, Hawaii. And all my friends in boot camp looked at me and just shook their head. The biggest screw up in the company got the best assignment you could get. I got Special Services, Barbers Point, Hawaii, and found out that Special Services, I thought Special Services was like, Navy SEALs or the Rangers or, having to go underneath water and blow up a ship, demolition, or, come to find out Special Services was handled everything entertainment-wise on the base. Outdoor theaters, riding academies, pools, beaches, anything entertainment. And so when I come back, I'll tell you about my experiences in boot camp. Not in boot camp, but in Hawaii. This is Ray. This is Dead Man Talking. This is my journey.